hopefully things are working in my favour a little bit more now. Okay, so I know I wanted to make a video of some kind right now because I have the equipment, right? I have my camera, I have a Tascam for audio, which you guys may not know about if you don't know about technical stuff, but I bought this equipment and the lights and everything. You can see the lights as well, and framing isn't my strong point actually, so I'll just zoom out a little bit. Yeah, so I really wanted to make a video about anything, just to show that I can do it, because when I turn on the camera sometimes I get a bit nervous, which is really weird considering I've been doing this for lots of time, basically. I've been doing this since I was a kid. Like, I remember turning, like, I don't know, 13 and making little crappy videos, but they weren't very good then, and I didn't have the equipment, but now that I have the equipment, I seem to neglect it and I don't use it. There's actually been a couple of kinds of videos that I've wanted to make, and this one is going to be talking about me doing films and stuff. I've wanted to call myself a filmmaker for the longest time now. I went to sixth form college, right? And I did media and history and law. I didn't like doing those, really. The only one I enjoyed was media. I'm starting to think I enjoyed law a bit more now, but the one I really enjoyed was media. And then one day, I decided that that's not what I wanted to do anymore. I was thinking at that point of going into law, and then I thought, I don't want to do that anymore. And I really wanted to become a filmmaker. So I went to college. I'm still there now. I went to the college that I'm at now. I'm in my second year there, and the things that I've done are amazing. I've worked with some massive, gigantic companies thanks to the links that my tutors at college give me and everything. But I haven't done anything that I've wanted to. I mean, when I say that, I haven't done anything that I really wanted to do. Like, I wanted to write stories and make scripts and write scripts and make short films to start with, and then end up obviously making longer films. But I've not done that. But recently I started writing a script for something that I thought was really good at the first, and then I started describing the idea to my friend. He realised, he pointed it out to me, that it was really similar to my life. I don't know whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, about the fact that I want to write about my kind of life. It wasn't based on me, specifically. I just related it to some of the things that happened in my life. Like, the character wasn't me, it was somebody else. And the situation that he was in was similar to situations that I've been in, but not specifically the same. Just checking my audio was rolling. So, I wanted to say that filmmaking is hard. It can be really hard, especially when, if you're like me, you have an idea for something, and then you write it down, you have all these amazing ideas. Hang on. This is just one notepad, right? And it's got, like, hang on, let me see if you can see this. It's got, can you see that? It's got doodles and set designs and stuff. It's just got stuff in there. Let me find a better example. A lot of it is to do with, like, my college work as well, but I started writing stuff down. Yeah, like, I made, basically, when I was writing the short film, that when I got halfway through the script, I realised that it was going to be a hard thing to do because there was no logical solution to the problem that the guy was having. So, in the end, I decided to make it so that somebody else fixed it for him. He didn't have to do it. So, the resolution to the problem, because, well, the way I see stories is there's peace, there's a conflict, and there's resolution to the conflict. That's the way I see a lot of stories. And it might not be peace, it might not be conflict, but there's a problem of some kind. And the way I did it was that somebody else actually helps the guy come out of this problem, if that makes sense. It's hard to tell a story, it's hard to give an example like that without actually giving away the story, because I don't want to do that yet, because I actually want to make it, and I want to make it in this big production thing, but I don't have the motivation because I've realised that it's similar to me, and I've slept on it. The more I sleep on something, the more unenthusiastic I am about that thing. Another example, hang on, let me go in this little drawer. Right. This little notepad was where I was originally going to write down all my ideas for things, and then I got a better one, and then I ended up realising that the pages were too small on this, so I just stopped using it eventually. But there's still some good stuff down here, and then it's all about, it's like I've got little lists of, like, test films. There's, like, something to do with Call of Duty in real life. Not specifically Call of Duty. It's going to be dramatic, and it's going to be, like, less comedy and more serious, if that makes sense. And then there's one about, like, making a robot version of a friend, and then something stupid about like sci-fi aliens without the actual aliens. See, that's the thing with writing notes. You need to write them in depth, otherwise they don't make sense. And then there's this one called Lucky Break, which I've realised another one of my friends was actually doing that name in a project, so I can't use that name anymore, so there's going to be a big problem with trying to choose a new name for that. But my other friend's writing that at the moment, I think. He told me he was writing it, but I don't know whether he's actually gone any further with it. But he wants to get that done because he wants to have something to show for himself. And I'm completely all for that. Like, I think the original idea came from when we went for a coffee one day and we sat down and just started talking, and then I thought, you know what's a good idea? Blah, blah, blah. And then he said, you know what, this is a good idea, blah, blah, blah. And we just got going from that point on. And I never went forward with it because that thing happened where I slept on it, and I realised I didn't actually like the idea. And I'm starting to think that I do actually like ideas, but when I sleep on it, it becomes less enthusiastic when I don't do something about it. I realise that it's not something that I'm interested in. But then when I start reading about it again, I get interested. It's just all about this keeping motivated. I've got like little quotes in here. There's two specifically that I can think of. I don't quite know what this was from. Oh no, I do. In my lecture, my lesson, whatever you want to call it, my friend was eating a plum, and then the tutor turned round and said, "What are you eating in here?" And he was like, "Sorry," and then he put his plum away, and then the tutor turns around and he goes, "You can finish a plum." And I just found that funny and thought that one day that might come in handy in a script, which is really sad when you think about it, but at the same time, I'm glad I wrote it down because now I remember it. And then the other one is, we were in a history class. This was, I don't know, it's almost 2016 now. This was like 4 or 5 years ago, in 2011. My friend, we were in a history class, and we were watching a film, and my friend just turns around and goes, "Can I eat my orange?" And that's not funny to anybody, but the situation, when I was there, I found it absolutely hilarious, and I wrote it down. So, this video doesn't really have a point. I just burped there. I just thought I'd point that out. This video really doesn't have a point, but I just want it to make something, if that makes sense. I just wanted to get something out there and make something so that I can actually say that I've done something, if that makes sense. So this channel is basically going to be where I talk about films and writing films. And this video has lost its point, so I am going to end it here. And I am going to say that I hope you found it somewhat insightful, and hopefully one day I will be able to make structured sentences and not change topic every 5 seconds.